Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Professor Systrom, and I'm reaching out to the students. So I just recently posted a video on how to do cybersecurity, and it was a discussion about the first two chapters. What I like to do all the time is go in here and do what we call labs. Now you're going to see me send you labs and packet traces that I have completed so you can see how I'm completing it, but I'm going to complete it in a different type of way. I'm going to complete it the way IT managers want to see people come in and demonstrate that they had a skill set to do these particular tools. So I'm going to be explaining what an IT manager is looking for when he or she is doing an interview. I'm going to start off with NetLabs. I'm going to do Packet Tracer, and I'm also going to do some labs that we create on our computer that we call VMs. So I'm going to do the whole span of things in the next 4 weeks so you guys can get an understanding of how to present this. But I'm going to present it in a way of how I will be explaining this to an IT manager. I think that's one of the things that's lost inside of the academic world, is how to demonstrate these skill sets to other people so it can be presentable. And I want you to start practicing that. Maybe you got some family member that wants to sit back and listen, but I want you to start practicing these skills so when you go before people where you have to do presentations or present or interviews, you pretty much got an idea of what to do. Now, this is one of the magnificent tools that we use at Ivory Tech. It's called NetLabs. But you can see this is Ivory Tech right here. Here's the website to get to here. But I'm going to go ahead and log in my password. Now, this tool was brought together by Cisco and NDG because they wanted to make sure that students would be able to have a virtual environment where they can work in and at the same time complete their work. So this is super important when you are trying to get your skills up. There's only 3 ways to get your skills up. The first way is by using the real equipment. And we got labs, we have labs in every campus that we personally went together and built. In a couple of these labs, I actually built with a couple of professors to get these labs up and go. We would recruit students to come in and help us put these labs together. And then the second way is this application here. This is a virtual environment, and this was mainly used for students who didn't take classes on premise. They would take classes in a virtual world, meaning they're at home and they log on. So I'm gonna go ahead and log into here. Now, as a student, you would choose schedule as a student, but I'm gonna use my own name, but you'll be using this. So I'm gonna go ahead and schedule. And when you get in, you're gonna see your name or my name, and you're gonna see what particular course to choose. Now, I explained to a student today, you have 2 portals in here. This here, gentlemen and ladies, I put this in here because this is the final exam for the lab, a lab final exam. And I wanted you to go in here and practice with it as much as you want to. Have at it, have fun, because at the end of the course, you'll be able to do it and get some points. But your actual labs are here. So you click on this, and then this lays out all the different labs you will be doing. Now your first labs 1s and 2s, they not in here because they just paper documents. You just read and you go out and do some research and you do it. But when it comes to the physical stuff, here are the labs. Now, what's important about these labs is this. You cannot know how to do cybersecurity unless you're doing your labs. That's why I always teach these to students. Whether I'm in the lab or I'm in the virtual world, I always want to show students how to do these labs. And I know you're going to go through them and knock them out with no problem. But I want you to start thinking of these labs as demonstrations that you will do for what we call real world practical applications, getting a job. So go ahead and click on here, and I'm gonna go ahead and schedule this lab. Now, like I was pointing out to a few students, you always just come right up under here. As you can see, it's multiple students in here working on the labs, or you can just come right here and find a blank space. But like I said, anytime I see a place in here, I can just go right there. So I'm gonna go right up under here, click there. Another thing you want to do is give yourself as much time as you can. So this particular lab says, hey, you can do this in 45 minutes. And in truth, you should be able to do it in 45 minutes, but we realize this is new to you, so you probably can't get that 45 minutes in. So I'm gonna go ahead and give me some more time. I'm gonna put an hour on there. I should be able to knock it out in an hour, also while I'm talking to you. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit submit. Now, like I said, I'm gonna show you from all different points of view. Now, you see me click OK, and it's saying your lab is ready. Enter lab. I'm gonna go ahead and click on it. When you come in here, this is the most important thing. I tell students all the time that I do interviews with people coming in, applying for positions, and it's unbelievable how these individuals cannot do a simple lab. They done went to college, they done went to boot camps, and they can't do a simple lab because most students do the lab once, but they need to practice. So in the cybersecurity class, it's even more critical because we have multiple labs that we need you to do. So as you can see right here, here's the lab for the first cybersecurity. Here's your workstation. This is what we call our topology. You read it in the Cisco class, you read it in here. This is the topology. Here's the content. Now, before I start the lab, I want you to download the content. I showed you this before, I'm gonna do it again. And then put that content on your desktop as a PDF. It's already up there. So as a PDF, if it pops down there, I'm gonna close it. And then I'm gonna go back to here. Now I'm gonna drag this down for a minute because I open up Microsoft Word and I'm gonna take that PDF and drop it right on Microsoft Word. And here we go. Once I let this go, this gives me the ability to take that PDF and turn it into a Word doc. I was demonstrating this with a student today and he was so surprised. But this is how you take a PDF and turn it into Word doc. It's other ways to do it, but this is the fastest way for me. And here go the document right here. Now let's take a minute and look at this document. It says here 0.0.3 lab identifying running processes. Now there are students in this class, they way past me in their labs. They smoking me. But I'm gonna do a lab a day and I'm literally gonna catch up and pass them. What y'all think, students? Y'all think I'm gonna pull it off? Let's see. Okay. This is good. Now, the corporation that partnered up with Cisco is called NGG. Got to get a shout out for them. They're doing a great job. So, we see that we got our objectives. And it says, in this lab, you will use TCP UDP Endpoint Viewer, a tool in Windows Sysinternals Suite used to identify any running processes on your computer. Now, in truth, unless you have a dynamic system, you really won't have this on your computer. You'll have to go to a place to download it. And one of our labs do teach you how to do it. But in this particular case, we know we're using a pre-created lab environment, so we know we have it on our system. So it says here, start TCP UDP Endpoint Viewer. 2, explore the running processes. 3, explore a user's starting process. So I'm gonna snatch that down and I'm gonna bring the lab back up. Okay, now I have the document down on my second screen, and I'm coming over here and I see the document there. I don't need to look here now because I got it in Word on my second screen. I always tell students to check your status because it says powered on. So I always check the status. And I tell students, let's get to work once we see that the status is good. Now you already know you can come here and you can click on Control Alt Delete. And here we go. We can go in there and put in the password. Now in this particular case, you're going to see me dragging it down and up so you can see it. In this particular case, once I do that, it says background scenario. Make sure you understand your background scenario. Some people, they just like to get in there, do the lab and get it out the way. I want you to make sure you understand it. It says in this lab, you will explore processes. Processes are programs or applications in execution. It says here you will explore the processes using Processes Explorer and in the Windows Sysinternals Suite. Now, why is this important? When you're working in an IT department or a SOC department, you should know what SOC means. When you're working in these departments, you will have to shut processes down all the time that may even be acting up or having some problems. So you need to know how to remember this stuff to go do it. Yes, you will be doing it a lot. That's why this is your first lab, only in America. You will also start and observe a new process. Instructions. So we already completed this part. This part was just to access the Win client machine by clicking Control Alt Delete. We did that. You can see it right here. Oh, it locked itself back up. Let's go back in here. So we're going to type in there again. Yes, indeed. Or maybe we didn't even open it up, but we got it running now. It asks us to use the password. It says navigate to the toolbar followed by the desktop. Here's the password, and you saw administrator now. So we're going to navigate to the toolbar and take a look at that. So I'm going to go to the toolbar and I see, toolbox, and I see it right there. And I'm going to click on it, double click and open it up. Now, I'm going to put this side by side so we can see the instructions together and actually work on the lab together. Here we go. See, that's what I like about this. You set it up side by side, you have 2 or 3 screens, and you can go to work. I love it. I love it. So here we go now. So I'm going to go ahead. Right here it says, okay, locate and double click TCP Viewer. So I first have to open up the suite. And when I open it up, I'm going to make it big enough so the entire screen can show. And as you can see, I can just go down because everything is in alphabetical order. Get to the S's, and then I begin to click on TCP Viewer. I want to get an executable, and there it is, TCP View executable file. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on that, and that's going to open up. And I'm going to go ahead and agree to it. And then it will give me this box here. Now that's what that's showing. Now your screen and my screen may end up being different, but that's okay because we want to make sure that we got the right information in here. Now let's break down what we're looking at. We're looking at processes that we use all the time in the IT industry. Whether you're a networker, whether you a security person, when you're in the system administrating or network administrator or system engineer or network engineer, you have to watch your processes because there may be problems in here. The particular process that they want me to look for, it says part 2, explore the running process. The particular process that they want me to look for is, it says TCP Viewer lists the processes that are currently on your Windows PC. Then it says double click this one here. Now, if I go look for that particular process, which is right here, you see it right there? Okay, so it wants me to double click it. Now, it looks like I got 2 of them in there. I don't want IPv4, I'm gonna do IPv6, and that's because I'm looking right here as TCP v6, and I'm gonna double click it. And it's just giving me a tag right there. It says, what is ISASS execute, in what folder is it located? And at this particular time, you would take this information right here. So I want to focus in on this particular area. Now, I'm gonna just do a basic copy of this. It may or may not copy over, but I know that this is a system file and it didn't give me everything I wanted. It just gave me parts of it. But I'm gonna make sure I put the system file in there. I'm not gonna do it right now. Okay, so we got that. And then it says just click OK and get out of there. But that's a process. View the properties for the other running processes. So I can go here and look at some other running processes and I can see what's in here. These are just properties of different type of processes that's on the system. And you see right here go a process where it said stop. You cannot go beyond this point because you need more credentials. Unable to query properties for this system. You need more credentials for that. Okay, so that answered a few questions. Now it says come over here to options, and you see options right there, and it wants you to go down to always at top, and you can click on always at top. It says here in the TCP Viewer window, click the options drop down menu, click always on top, and that'll put it always on top. But we don't really want to do that now, so but we're just giving you points. Now another thing, it says open the Mozilla Firefox web browser, and then we're gonna see systems pop up. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna go ahead and click Mozilla web browser, just open it up, and you see the systems are working. Now if you ask me where's the web browser, of course it's right behind me. You can see it right there. So I just wanted to open that up and show you processes that are happening. And then you can close the Windows browser, and then what did you observe in TCP Viewer? So if I come here and just close the browser, of course they're gonna go away. See how they closing themselves, shutting themselves down. So that was about the TCP Viewer. And you need to know that, because knowing that helps you understand what you have to do in these particular files. It was a simple thing. What did we do? We started TCP UDP Endpoint Viewer. We explored the running process, and we explored a user started process. You have to remember to do this. Now, I know I went a little fast, but the point of this was to show you how to work with processes. You will work with a lot of processes. Now, this is Professor Systrong. I'm gonna send this video out to you, and I'm gonna keep sending videos out so you can begin to understand this. But I'm gonna leave you with the greatest cliffhanger. Here is a hack tool. In every one of my videos, I'm gonna give you a hack tool. Why do you do this? You want to get skilled up to be able to identify running processes, especially when someone hacked your system. So I always tell my students who really want to get in the industry and know how to match up with the individuals working in the industry. Remember, you have individuals working in the industry who put in 8 hours a day. They are skilled up. How do you match up with them? You take this assignment and you go all the way to the bottom of this assignment and you delete everything out of it besides this. When you can get to the point where you can do these processes without having to read the instructions, that's when you know you have locked the skill in your brain. You should be able to look at this and say, start TCP UDP Endpoint Viewer. Click on this. You don't see any instructions. Look for this file here. No instructions is there. Go down to TCP Viewer, which we did earlier. You're going to go down here. You do this a lot. You will lock it into your brain. And once you not lock it into your brain, you know how to do the processes. Now I can open up this and I understand when I open this up what's going on. I can click on a process that's having problem. When I click on it, I can read where that system file at and go to that file and correct it. That's what I want you to get in the habit of doing. Because if I meet you in the hallway and I want to see how your skills are, I'll take the instructions out and leave it just like this and say, now do that project. And you know you got a lot of labs coming up. When you can have every one of your labs locked in your mind like this without having to read instructions and you know it, that's when you know you got the skill. This is Professor Systrom. I hope you enjoy this.